The court found that there was sufficient evidence to find it true. The court found it true. And so we're here today for witnesses to be presented.
We do have a witness.
All right. And State, do you have any witnesses? All right, defense, you may call your witness.
The defense calls Priscilla Garza.
State your name for the record.
Priscilla Garza.
All right, you may proceed.
Miss Garza, how do you know Michael?
He's my fiance.
And where do you live? Do you live here in San Antonio?
Yes, ma'am.
And who do you live with?
And I'm only staying with my mom.
Okay. Who lives with you?
Me, my mom, and my two stepsons.
So you have two stepsons?
Yeah.
And do you and Michael have any children together, biological?
No, ma'am.
And just what are their ages?
One's 12 and the other one's 8.
And you are the kids were staying with you. Was that due to Michael not being able to live in the home with you and the children?
Yes, ma'am. He wasn't able to stay there.
And is it your understanding that was a court order when he was sentenced? And you are caring for his children, and do you plan to get married? Do you have a date or?
No, right now I just got the paper for him to sign because he's not able to be there and I'm absent affidavit.
Like a marriage by proxy, or is that what you're talking about? Like getting married without him being present?
Or if it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, just in case whatever the court rules today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you asking the judge to continue him on his deferred?
Yes, actually, I am.
All right, here we go. The fiancé is stepping in, asking the judge for mercy and trying to save the family's only provider. But remember, emotional support doesn't erase probation violations. The real question is, will the court focus on sympathy or responsibility?
And was he a good provider to you and his children?
Yes, he was.
And
He's the only provider. I gotta stay at home and I make sure the kids are okay, make sure they go to school. He's the only one.
Okay. And is there anything else that you want the judge to know that you've not already told them?
No. Just I know that his boy's missing and they want him home.
Okay. And his children are present, but not in the courtroom. Is that correct? I'll pass the witness.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Priscilla Garza.
Priscilla Garza. Okay, Karen, so how long have you been in a relationship with the defendant?
9 years.
9 years?
Yes, ma'am.
So you all were in a relationship with each other when this actual deadly weapon occurred?
Yes.
Okay. And so then you all were also in a relationship when he was placed on probation in April of 2025, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when he was granted probation, originally, were you aware that he had a condition of an electronic leg monitoring device?
When he was staying at his grandparents, yes.
Okay. And then at some point that GPS device was removed. Are you aware of that?
Oh, this is where things start turning dangerous for the defense. When probation says they couldn't find you, judges hear one thing, non-compliance. And in violation hearings, disappearing is almost never forgiven.
Yes, his probation officer asked for it to be removed.
Okay. And then after it was removed, were you aware that the probation department never heard from him again? Okay. Was he living with you?
No, he wasn't allowed to stay with me and the boys.
Okay. So where was he living?
But the address at 318 Los Albertos.
Okay. And who else lives at 318 Los Albertos?
His grandfather, his uncle.
And were you aware that the probation office made multiple field visits to that location and the people that lived there said that the defendant was no longer living there?
I'm going to object to hearsay.
Right, that'll be sustained.
Okay. Were you aware that the probation office made multiple field visits to that location?
Your Honor, the fact's not in evidence at this time.
All right, that'll
We're
be
going to
over.
object. and also
That'll
the
be-
hearsay.
That will be overruled.
Were you aware that the probation office made multiple field visits to that location?
No.
And were you aware that the probation office was unable to contact them there at that location?
Well, I
Same
know he
objection.
works.
Also,
That'll be overruled.
Well, I know most of the time when they did go, he was at work. Cause he did work, cause that was one of his conditions on his probation.
Where was he working?
He was working for a payment company.
Okay. And so I guess you were unable to have contact with him as a condition of probation, or this?
He would just call and he'll visit the boys. I know he was supposed to be under supervision to visit the boys, but he never, sometimes he did, but I was there, but sometimes he didn't, because he always worked. He, like I said, he's the main provider for me and his boys. So
And
he's always working.
so correct me if I'm wrong, but the children, they're his biological children, but you're just taking care of them, right?
Yes,
Okay. And you said that he's the only provider, so you don't have anything.
I don't have employment.
Okay. And so if you're asking this court for him to stay on, and he has not been reporting, like, what facts are you relying on to ask the court to continue with him?
Well, the fact is, y'all are asking him to work. So if he's supposed to work and he's not supposed to be there at the house when they go do a field visit or whatever, how is that supposed to even be possible?
Because,
Because sometimes they do pop-ups and he's at work.
okay, well, that's why there are multiple conditions in place. So are you aware that he was also supposed to report to the probation office?
And he would,
And a violation that he's pled true to is that he was not reporting
before, when he first got on it, he was reporting.
when
After
he
that,
had the ankle monitor on, correct?
no,
Yes. And once the ankle monitor was removed, he pled true to not reporting to probation.
okay, well, I'm not aware of that because he wasn't staying with me.
Okay. And so you're asking this court, even though you have no facts in how he's performed on probation, you're coming up here and asking this court to continue.
Or he does have 2 kids that he needs to help me take care of. There's 2 boys. You try raising 2 boys on your own. When I'm not the biological mom, I'm the stepmom.
Don't you think the appropriate time for him to think of his 2 children was when he was stabbing someone, not when he's on probation?
Wow, that question hit like a truck. The prosecutor just pulled the focus back to the original violent offense. Even though the judge sustains the objection, the damage may already be done. Once that image is in the courtroom, it's hard to unhear it.
no, dear, you cannot. Your Honor, I believe that that's a harassing question.
Is there a legal objection
And yes, Your Honor, that it's not relevant or material, and it is harassing
with
the
regards
witness.
to relevancy? The court will sustain the objection.
Prosecutors, yeah.
All right, any further questions?
No further
All right,
questions.
thank you so much for coming in. Call your next witness.
I'll call my client.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Michael Anthony Foss.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Mr. Foss, before you were putting on deferred, you got custody of your children, correct?
Long before,
About a year before,
way more.
2 years before? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, your mother of your children had custody, and then CPS got involved, and then you,
I object to leaving.
Sustained.
so, tell me how you got custody of your children.
I got custody of my children, fighting for them for more than 8 months. While I was doing federal probation, federal classes, at the same time doing state classes and state UAs, I believe is what they said. And they were coexisting with my federal PO at the same time. And I found, and then the judge who, I believe, I don't know the proper name, for the kids, I guess for CPS, that judge at that time in CPS, the state found fit after all my certificates while I was wrestling with federal probation and state agencies at the same time, while working a full-time job, supporting my kids. that they found that I was fit to be the father, and they found fit to terminate the rights of their biological mother.
And so you have custody, you have your fiance, and how many households were you supporting after you got on this deferred in April of 2025?
Okay, when I moved in with my grandparents and my uncle, my grandfather's house, I'm sorry, my grandmother passed away. When I moved there, of course, I'm not gonna take advantage of my family, so I'm paying rent there, about $450 to $500 a month. I'm still supporting my kids because that was one of the stipulations, support to dependents. So I'm paying about $300, $400 there for them. Then I'm paying my cell phone bill. Then I'm paying UAs when I go take the test. I got to pay for the parenting class, $85 off the rip. I did 5 out of 10 classes, hostility.
Okay, this is huge. He's not blaming anyone else, he's admitting fear, panic, and bad judgment. Some judges respect honesty, others hear excuses. What do you think? Is this accountability or too little too late?
The only reason I didn't do the other 5, man, I really tried to knock it out. And the reason I couldn't do the other 5 is because the other 5, they wanted to do them as a one-on-one, I believe it was. And he said he was going to call me. But I told him I had to go to work because all these places, and that's not including my food that I was eating on the day.
Right, so here, the state recommended that you have deferred. What I want to know is, you pled true to violation of condition number 2. So I wanted to know why you missed drug testing. You pled true to violation for condition number 4. So I want to know why you missed reporting.
A simple fact, miss. I wasn't paying my restitution. What did it constitute? The $4,000 that I had to pay. I was paying. I'm paying $2,000 when I filed my taxes, and I told Mr.
But what does that mean about the not taking UAs? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why were you not taking your UAs?
When I stopped reporting, ma'am, I didn't go take the UAs run because I was afraid that I was going to get arrested because he was getting on my butt.
Okay, do I not tell everybody if there's an issue with probation? If you have an issue, let probation know about it. And if they're not addressing it, you can come and address it with the court.
See, yes, ma'am. And
So why didn't you do that?
my assuming, it's plain and simple, my stupidity assuming, ma'am. I'm not going to make an excuse. I assume because it's never been, this is the only state thing. In federal, when they tell you you don't do it, it's bye. No ifs, ands, or buts, man. And I was scared. And I was just literally trying to buy time to pay this whole freak off. That's it. There's the whole thing off. You know what I mean? I was working and everything. And I did report.
No, when was the monitor removed? Does anyone know?
I can tell that. I really don't know, man.
Defense, do you know when the GPS monitor was removed?
I thought it was, it's either August or September.
State, do you know when it was removed? All right, probation, do you?
No, actually, that was July 9th.
Okay, July 9th. So when it was removed in July 9th, were there any missed appointments, or is the first missed appointment in October? Does anyone know that?
Did UA in September 2025 and that UA was negative.
The last UA was on 9/19/2025, and it was negative.
So it appears that something happened October and November. So does anyone know what happened with him for October?
Your Honor, I think he was trying to explain that when he would go in, his officer was, according to him, putting pressure on him to pay these fees. And, you know, my client is a very verbal person, and, you know, I think there was not a meeting of the minds that this court would never revoke somebody for monies. We don't have debtor's prison. But he was getting pressure that he had to pay this money. And he's supporting 2 households in at this time. And I want to talk a little bit about work because he had, when one job would stop, he would get another one in between. He's a painter. So if they didn't have a house to paint, he would go and he worked with another person to be working this entire time to support his children and to support these two households. And he does not get subsidy from CPS case. He is the biological dad. He did get custody of his father. And Your Honor, I did go back and look at the sentencing on YouTube, and I couldn't hear everything because I think there was an audio problem. But I think the court had concerns of why he couldn't live with his children. And the concerns were the nature of the offense, and the court wanted to make sure he was not gang affiliated. Those were the two things that the court expressed, say, hey, but we can change that. And you did say that. And according to my client, he is not gang affiliated. They did the process.
So you're telling me with the tattoo that he has on the top of his, nobody loves San Antonio that much. I mean, I think San Antonio is a great place to stay, obviously, because I'm here, but usually those are gang affiliations.
But did you do your gang evaluation?
Yes, I did. Yes, ma'am. You ordered it under custody, as a matter of fact.
He had to, and that was correct. He had to stay in custody to do his TAP evaluation, and they were going to do the gang affiliation or
Gang affiliation completed?
Yeah, they determined there was no affiliation.
That's shocking.
Did you catch that? That's shocking. That doesn't sound like a judge who is convinced. Even with the evaluation clearing him, the court still has doubts, and doubt is not good when your freedom is on the line.
And he did whisper to me that he is in,
They do custody.
so he's not with the gang, with any type of gang in the jail.
All right, State, what are you requesting? All right. This is what the court is going to do.
This is it. Decision time. Prison or another chance under strict GPS lockdown. Everything said in this courtroom now comes down to one answer. What would you choose if you were standing there?
I'm going to give you two choices. There are no other choices. These are your only choices. Do you understand?
Understood.
All right. One, I do note that the state was, not this prosecutor, but the previous prosecutor asked for 4 years deferred. So the court placed you on 5 years deferred adjudication based upon my review of everything. So one, I will revoke you, sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Or two, I'll continue you and you're going to be on GPS until further notice, and it'll be GPS for employment only. Which do you prefer?
Can we step back, Your Honor? Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
So are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, court is going to grant the motion. Revoke. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the prison. You get credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And there's to be no contact with the complainant. Review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney. Did you understand it? All right, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney.
Come on this way, Mr. Cross.
All right, anyone else ready?
Did you count that time?
Subscribe now, because the next courtroom moment might be even crazier than this one.